On today's episode of the Comics Panel, some interesting true facts about comics. All right, so Steve, I heard we got a list. We reviewed a list of some odd facts about comics.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of them?
Some of them were interesting, some I won't repeat.
I have to concur with that. Some of them I just think are a bunch of BS.
Absolutely. I wanted to actually jot down on my list which ones I thought were BS. Hey, I'll start.
All right, what were some of the ones you thought were BS?
Oh, the ones I thought... What?
Well, I thought that's what you said you were going to start with. I'm sorry.
No, I'll start with one that I liked.
Okay.
One that I thought was interesting. This one, I've never heard this one. Some of these I've heard before, but I've never heard this one, that Michael Jackson wanted to play Spider-Man in a movie so badly, he tried to buy Marvel Comics in the 1990s.
Wow.
Now, I didn't look that up to see if that was true
Yeah.
or not, but it's definitely odd.
That's true.
I mean,
And he was buying a lot of stuff. I mean, when you have that kind of money.
you can see him moonwalking across the side of a building. That would be neat. How about you?
I thought it was interesting when they were talking about Joe Dimaggio of the New York Yankees back in the day being a fan of Superman and thought it would tarnish his image and was kind of embarrassed to let people know he was reading them. So he would have one of the lesser Yankee players or friends go to the newsstands and buy him his Superman comic books.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that. Oh. Did you know that in the 1940s there was a comic book superhero called the Red Bee?
No, I did not. And who is the Red Bee?
Well, he fought the Nazis using trained bees.
Interesting.
And his favorite bee was named Michael, and it lived in his belt buckle.
I thought you were going to say the Queen Bee.
Unless her name was Michael.
Yeah.
No.
Before that, I was thinking Queen Bee, the biggest bee of them all.
Yeah, no.
The one thing I thought was interesting, it didn't surprise me, but I don't know why it would come in there as an odd fact. They said Batman had 8 different bat caves, and one of them was under Arkham Asylum. And I know that Red Robin, the cool Robin, in the one Batman Rebirth Detective series, he was building up these other networks. And Batman always had a network of safe houses, mini bat caves, and Red Robin took after him by tying into that thing. So, I mean, that didn't really surprise me, so I don't know why that would have been constituted as an odd fact.
A lot of people don't know that. Do you think there's only one Batcave?
I guess, yeah, that would make sense.
Okay, here's a fun one. Comic book letterers avoided words like Clint and flick because during printing, the letters can run together, making the words look like profanity.
Okay.
I thought that one was funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny too. I thought it was interesting when they said the comic code, when they created that, part of the code was you weren't allowed to make fun of politicians.
Yeah, or law enforcement agents.
Or law enforcement agents.
Yeah. Which changed drastically.
Yep,
yeah.
Definitely snowflake.
There was a comic book hero in the 1940s called the Green Llama. I knew this. This is
I didn't know that. I read that.
And he was a practicing Buddhist, and one of his powers was reincarnation. I'd really like to read that because, like, does he die in every issue, and then
how long did it take him to reincarnate?
Well, that's a good question.
And what different things would he come back into as? I mean, everything could be a different thing, unless he comes back as the same person. What if he came back like as a bee?
Well, then maybe he'd live in the guy's belt buckle.
Yeah, he could cross over with the guy's belt buckle.
Yeah, there you go.
Until it gets smashed. Reincarnated into something else. I know you were talking about the image. I know we were talking about the Luke Cage and Nicolas Cage. So you want to talk about that?
If that's on your list, you go.
Well, go ahead.
I got the whole list. You got a few.
I thought it was interesting when they said Nicolas Cage took his last name for a stage name off of Luke Cage, the Marvel comic book hero, because Luke Cage is a comic book fan. I mean, he did own Action Comics at one time, #1.
You mean Nick Cage?
Nick Cage. What did I say?
Luke
Cage? I'm sorry. Nicolas Cage, let me repeat that. Nicolas Cage, the movie star, took his last name off of Marvel's character Luke Cage. And of course, Nicolas Cage is a comic book fan. At one time, he owned Action Comics #1.
Do you know why he took a stage name?
No.
Okay, his name was Nicholas Coppola. And I believe, I'm not positive how he was related, but I believe that Francis Ford Coppola was his uncle.
Okay.
You know who Francis Ford Coppola is?
Please enlighten us. I know.
He's the guy who directed Godfather.
Okay.
The Godfather, and he didn't want to be associated. He didn't want to get work because he was associated with Francis Ford Coppola.
You gotta hire my grandson.
You get a horse head in your bed.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, no one wants to wake up with a horse head in their bed.
No. Okay.
What were some of the ones you thought were bogus?
Well, I got rid of some of the ones I thought were bogus, but because
I didn't know if you remembered any that you thought was weird.
Well, I told you I didn't want to talk about it.
Oh, that one. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought you were
that
talking about a different one. Never mind.
I want to talk about different colored kryptonite.
We're gonna cut that out.
And let's see. Here's a good one. For a period of time in the late '60s and early '70s, Wonder Woman lost her powers.
Did not know that.
Yes. And she did not wear her famous costume, but instead wore white mod clothes, obviously inspired by Diana Rigg from the TV's Avengers. She
That
was
is
like
true. Andy confirmed it. He remembered that. I thought like the llama thing wasn't.
Off to the side, Andy's saying that was a great run, and when I read this online somewhere, people were outraged, absolutely outraged, that she lost her powers and lost her suit, and it was a big deal when she got it back.
How can they lose her powers? She's Wonder Woman.
I don't know.
You know, like X-Men have a gene, they could, manipulate the genes and take away your X gene, but she's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she's made of clay. Yeah.
Guess maybe use a different kind of clay. Who knows?
All right, I don't know. Play-Doh. What do we got next? Anything?
I don't have anything else. Do you?
No, I'm satisfied with what we got.
All right.
If you have anything you'd like to add,
Or odd facts.
any odd facts, put it in our comments below. Let us know. We're not going to check up on it. Maybe. But, yeah, leave your comments in the field below, especially if you got some odd facts. It'd be fun to read.
Yeah. Like us on Facebook.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Thanks.
Thank you.